Following on from Sharkoon's wooden keyboard that's behind me that I looked at recently, I've got a pair of mice to look at from them today. The SGM50W and the SGM35, the same mouse coming in both a wired and a wireless version. The key thing is the price. These things are cheap as chips, around 20 quid for the wired model and about 40 quid for the wireless one. I say about because they're not the easiest to get hold of and prices can fluctuate because you're going to order them from outside of the UK. Let's find out if you do indeed get what you pay for. Hi guys, I'm Matt and welcome to Kit Guru. So then, a quick further word on availability, as it's been an issue actually getting hold of Sharkoon products in the UK in the past. Both of these mice are available on Amazon UK, although they are shipped by Amazon EU, and that means prices fluctuate a little bit, but you're looking at roughly 20 quid or 40 quid, depending on which one you want to get if you want to pick one up. And delivery times are not bad either, within a week the last time I checked. As for the design, they're both exactly the same mouse in terms of shape, both sporting an ergonomic design that's clearly for right-handers only. There's no left-handed version available that I can find online. The overall shape is quite big and bulbous. They easily fill my hand and feel pretty similar to a Razer Basilisk. They're taller on the left-hand side under your index finger with a kind of slope off towards the right. The balance feels pretty good when using them. Weight feels pretty evenly distributed. The wired model is 80 grams without the cable, and then the wireless one comes in at 95 grams. So I wouldn't call either of them lightweight compared to some mice on the market nowadays, but they're not mega heavy either. On the left-hand side, you've got a thumb rest that juts out from the bottom of the shell and two pretty chunky side buttons. I like the side button design on these mice. They're very obvious when you're using the mice, and the divide between the front and the back buttons sits just in the right place above my thumb, making it really easy to differentiate between the two of them when you quickly press or reach for them while gaming. On the top, there's a pretty standard issue scroll wheel coated in a rubber grip, and then just behind that is a button for cycling through the DPI presets, but more on that a little bit later in the video. There's a Sharkoon logo on the rear of each model, either in black on the white model or silver on the black one. Both the wired and wireless ones are available in either black or white, depending on which you prefer, which will better suit your setup. The coating and finish on the main bodies is a smooth plastic. It's kind of nothing out of the ordinary. But one thing I really like is the left and right click buttons. They're made from PBT and they have a more textured and grippy finish and feel when compared to the rest of the mouse. They feel great to use and they do genuinely feel nice under your fingers. Both mice have RGB, which is kind of highlighted by the fact that they've got transparent bottoms as well. The white one being much more see-through, whereas the black one is more of a smoked, semi-transparent plastic. Both of them have got a button on the bottom as well for cycling through different lighting presets, as there's no software to customize these mice at all. The wireless model seems to have much brighter and more uniform RGB, which is a lot more visible, as I mentioned, thanks to the clearer bottom. It's also got a pretty different design in terms of skates and kind of bottom layout. The wireless on the left and the wired on the right in this picture. The PTFE skates are slightly different. The wireless has more coverage towards the front, whereas the wired one has a bigger bottom skate. And this is to allow for the dongle storage compartment on the wireless model. And finally, there's two connection points for the charging dock on the wireless model. That's right, you get a charging dock included in the box with a £40 mouse, and that's alongside getting a spare set of skates with both models, whichever one you go to. The dock, which you can see on the desk in front of me, acts as an extension for the 2.4 GHz dongle, as well as charging the SGM50W wirelessly. It's got two magnets so the mouse stays put when it's on charge too. Compare these extras to mice that cost way more, where you get the mouse and pretty much naff all else, and I think it's a really generous offering from Sharkoon. So the design and the included accessories are good for a mice at this price point, and that pretty much extends into the build quality. to an extent. They feel good considering the price. There's a bit of creaking in the bodies, but not much flex at all. They have a rigid feel, but then that's coupled with a slight hollowness. It's hard for me to be mega critical, especially when the wired one costs less than a couple of pints in a kebab after a night out. But with that being said, putting pricing aside for a second, I think they do feel good, but nowhere near as solid or as quality as some of the more premium mice that I've looked at in the past. But coming back to what I said at the start of the video, you get what you pay for. In terms of specs, both have got an ATG 4090 sensor, which I could find very little information about online. It's likely a rebranded Pixart 3325, which is a very old and quite dated sensor based on today's standards. It supports up to 6,400 DPI, 20 Gs of acceleration and 100 IPS, or inches per second, of speed. And just to add a comparison, the Razer Viper V3 Pro, admittedly a much more expensive mouse, but that can handle up to 35,000 DPI, up to 70 Gs of acceleration, and up to 750 IPS of speed. So it's leagues ahead in terms of specs. Main button switches are Huano mechanicals, which are rated to last up to 30 million clicks in the wired mouse and then up to 80 million clicks in the wireless mouse. Most switches are rated in the millions, to be fair, so maybe you could use one of them and click on the subscribe button. In terms of customization, there's no software, as I mentioned earlier. Everything is done with physical buttons, which in terms of DPI is something that's a big downside for me with these mice. I've been using 1600 DPI for years at this point, but that's not possible with the Sharkoon SGM50 and SGM35. There's presets, and that's all you can use. The presets are 400, 1200, 2400, 3600, 4800, or 6000, and there's no way to change those presets at all, so you're stuck with one of them. Polling rate is fixed at 1000 Hz, which is a blessing in disguise for the battery life on the SGM50W, which Sharkoon states should last up to 70 hours on the 930 mAh battery that's inside. They don't state specifics, but I'm guessing that's with the RGB turned off. But who's bothered when you've got the dock anyway? Just stick it back on there when you're done and you'll always be good to go. And if you forget, you can charge it with the included USB cables and then you can use it while it's on charge as well. So battery life, I don't see it being an issue for anyone that picks one up, especially the wireless one, and obviously it's a non-issue with the wired one. Gaming has been a bit of a mixed bag for me with the SGM35 and SGM50W. They do the job, and I could definitely use them if I didn't have anything else, but given a choice, I'd stick with something a bit more customizable every day of the week. I haven't had any standout issues using them on both glass and cloth pads, but I've never really felt like I was performing as well as I usually do with either of them. They're a bit cumbersome for my liking and don't feel as fluid or as seamless as the mice that I'm used to. Having to play at a DPI that I wouldn't usually choose was genuinely annoying too. That you can, of course, counter that by setting up like 360 distances using in-game sensitivity sliders, but I've been trying to improve my aim lately and I'd like to at least have the option to have a consistent setup. I just want a mouse that can set at 1600, the same as all the other mice I've used for the past 2 or 3 years. I haven't noticed any sensor issues while playing the finals, which is something I've got into recently and been playing a lot of. It's been an okay experience, but I've really appreciated moving back to my current daily driver, which is the Viper V3 Pro. And again, I'm going to point out, I appreciate the SGM50W is a third of the price, but on the flip side of that, you can tell when you use it. Wrapping things up then, the SGM50W and SGM35 would be good for people either just getting into PC gaming or looking to pick up a mouse while sticking to a tight budget. And I think that's exactly what Sharkoon designed them for. They look and feel pretty good overall, and the pricing is almost too good to be true. 40 quid for a wireless mouse with a dock is a steal in my opinion. The included accessories are a really nice touch too. Every mouse, no matter the price, should come with a spare set of skates in my opinion. But they're restrictive when it comes to customization. No custom DPI, no custom polling rate, no custom lighting. What you see is what you get, which isn't bad, but definitely lacking when compared to more expensive options. And that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you did. And don't forget to subscribe to Kit Guru to keep up with the latest PC gaming news and reviews. If you go down below the video, you'll find links to our merch store where you can pick yourself up a hoodie like this one. And then if you go down into the video's description, you'll find links to our Discord server, our Patreon page, or our website. Anyway, guys, I've been Matt. These have been the SGM35 and SGM50W from Sharkoon, a pair of really budget mice. I'll speak to you in the next one. Look after yourselves. See you later.